It's been a long time since I've done a video on R. Kelly. As a matter of fact, I think it's probably been well over a year since the last time I did a video on him. I think last time I did a video on him was probably either early 2022 or maybe sometime in 2021. It's been a while since y'all seen me do a commentary on R. Kelly. But when I came across this article, when this article came across my way, I said I have to speak on it because this is proving without the shadow of a doubt what we know this to be all along. So as we all know, R. Kelly, despite, all of his faults and all of his issues, and he has quite a few of them, he's been convicted of the crimes in which they went after him for, and he's currently now in prison. But when we told people from the jump that this was nothing more than a money grab, this article I'm gonna read to you is gonna prove nothing more than just that. And this article I'm reading is coming from the Daily News, and the title reads, "Federal prosecutors look to garnish R. Kelly's music royalties to pay his victims restitution." And there's actually a definition for that. It's actually a term for that, and I'm gonna go into that once I'm done reading the article. And this was posted on June 1st, 2023. The federal government is looking to garnish R. Kelly's royalty checks to pay restitution to the disgraced R&B superstar's sex trafficking victims. In a pair of filings Thursday, federal prosecutors in Brooklyn gave notice to Sony Music Entertainment and Universal Publishing Incorporated that R. Kelly hasn't paid the roughly $500,000 he owes the court and his victims. The garnishee is believed to owe or will owe money or property to the debtor, or is in possession of property of the debtor, prosecutors wrote, referring to the music studios as the garnishee and R. Kelly as the debtor. Kelly was sentenced to 30 years in prison in June 2022 on sex trafficking and racketeering charges in Brooklyn federal court for a 25-year scheme that saw him sexually abuse and psychologically torture young women and men. I'm trying to figure out that one about the men is very far-fetched. Honestly, this whole situation is very sketchy to me, to be completely real with you. Last year, Brooklyn federal court judge Ann Donnelly ruled that Kelly must pay almost $380,000 in restitution to two of his victims. The funds are meant to help pay for a lifetime of mental health treatment and herpes medication, plus more than $140,000 in fines and penalties. The government moved to seize nearly $28,000 from his commissary fund, money his lawyer Jennifer Bonjean said came from donations made by his devoted fans. Neither Bonjean nor the recording studios returned messages seeking comment Thursday. Kelly's lawyers described him as an indigent with his song royalties tied up by pending court judgments. Federal prosecutors have said he has a pool of $5 million still available to him. In March, the Illinois Supreme Court ruled that one of his victims who won a $4 million assault judgment should get access to his Sony royalties before the money can be used to pay $3.5 million in back rent he owes on his former Chicago music studio. Now, pay attention to the verbiage there. It said that the Illinois Supreme Court ruled that one of his victims who won a $4 million assault judgment, now mind you, this person already got $4 million, but now they're saying that they should get more. Not that they could get more, but that they should, as in they are entitled to it. They already got 4 million, but they're saying they should get more. I'm telling you, this is nothing more than a money grab / extortion. But we called that from jump. That ruling revealed that in 2020, Sony held $1,544,333 in royalties due to the singer. Kelly appealed his federal conviction last month, blaming the Me Too movement for the verdict and arguing that jurors admitted that seeing Surviving R. Kelly, the docuseries that brought rampant sexual abuse allegations to light. He is also demanding Donnelly's restitution or to be vacated and that the $28,000 in commissary money be returned to his account. Kelly received another 2 decades in prison in January to be served concurrently after his second conviction last year in Chicago on charges related to CP and enticement of minors for sex. Like I told people from the beginning, when all of this started to spiral out of control, this is nothing more than a money grab. That's all, to be honest, that's all this ever has been. And always will be. The part that got me was when they said one of the victims got $4 million and they said they should get more coming from his royalties. Now, remind you, the royalties is really how he survives. Now, of course, it won't really benefit him much where he's at, but you got to think he also has kids, unless he has a separate fund that he most likely established already for them. That's separate from this. But look at this. They're saying that they are looking to garnish his royalties to pay his quote unquote victims restitution. I'm gonna be honest with y'all, even though there's a term for this and I'm gonna bring it up in a second, I've never heard of them doing this to anybody else. Like, is anybody listening to me right now ever heard of them doing this to anybody else before? There probably is some stories out there, but I've never heard it on this magnitude. Now I'm gonna go ahead and bring up the terminology and the definition of what this is called, of what they're actually doing. So you see the definition right here of what is, well, first off, what it's called asset forfeiture. What is asset forfeiture, you might ask? It says asset forfeiture is designed to deprive criminals of the proceeds of their crimes, to break the financial backbone of organized criminal syndicates and drug cartels, and to recover property that may be used to compensate victims and deter crime. My thing is this, where is he going? He's locked up. He pretty much, like, what is he really going to do? But again, we've said that with R. Kelly's catalog, you got to think it's more than just the songs that he sang in his career, but it's also songs that he's written for other people and produced, because, you know, his pen game is elite. His production game is on point. And, you know, he's done features and everything like throughout a lot of his career. So all of that, all of those royalties, that's what they're looking to get, to pay out to his so-called victims for mental anguish. So when we say that it was really all about, believe us when we say that. When I saw this article, when someone had posted this up on Twitter, those are kind of not my exact words, but those were my words. That's what this was all about. It was all going after his money. That's usually what it's always about. I think it goes all the way back to, you know, Michael Jackson, Prince, Bill Cosby again, and now R. Kelly. They don't want them having it. I swear, Eddie Griffin was a philosopher, not a philosopher, a prophet, when he made that potent statement of, when black people, specifically black men, go to Hollywood, they don't leave clean. That is so true. It's unfortunate, but it's true. And it's sad because, you know, you have a lot of people who are very talented, and then a lot of stuff happens in that industry, and then all of this stuff kind of spirals out of control. Now, again, this is not a video of me that I'm doing defending R. Kelly at all. I just have to throw that out there, because most people say, oh, if you say something like this, if you don't come with the fire and brimstone on people like R. Kelly, then they'll think you're defending him. No, this is not me defending him. This is me pointing out what it is. This is what it's really all about, is getting his money. They put it plainly put right there, that they are looking to garnish his royalties to pay his so-called victims. And if you look at how they framed it and how they worded it, of what they got him on, you can't tell me that they're not going to get it. They're going to get it somehow, some way, unfortunately.